Hi guys, it's reaction time. Hope everyone's all right. I've got a guest with me though, Paul Anderson. How you doing, mate?
I'm doing great. Yourself?
Yeah, not bad. So a reaction with a partner, with an Iridia. So that's something a bit different. I've done this sort of thing before, actually, Paul. Only a couple of times. I think once with you, I believe, and then me and Ralph have done something as well. I think I remember quite a while ago, but quite a big deal. So Theocracy, We're gonna do the reaction to the last track on the album, which is Red Sea, the Mammoth track, over 19 minutes long. And I've actually had a couple of suggestions to do a reaction, actually, Paul. So it fits in nicely with actually doing it. Paul come up with this idea. So I thought, yeah, I mean, the long songs are pretty epic, isn't they, that they do. So
Mhm.
we're going to do a quick, and I mean literally a quick, how we feel about each song on the album before we get to Red Sea. Red Sea is the last track on the album. The album is called Mosaic. It was out on October the 13th. Of course, Theocracy, a lot of people who watch the channel will know they are American, Christian. Now, let me get this right because they cover lots of bases in music, don't they? I mean, I would describe them as a mixture of melodic metal, a bit of power metal, a bit of progressive metal, a bit of thrash metal. They literally cover musically, they cover the bases, don't they? I mean, Matt, it's definitely metal, but there's
Yeah.
there's elements of all those. And I wouldn't quite call it power metal because I think with power metal, it's not quite heavy enough usually. So this is real, heavy riffing, guitars are right up in the mix. This is the fifth album, 7 years since Ghost Ship. That's mental, isn't it?
Mhm.
7 years. And of course, they've got a new label now. They've actually gone. They've got a new record label, and it's a. I can't remember the blooming name of the label now. I had it written down here. I thought I had it written down, but they're with oh, same label as they got same label as Primal Fear. A lot of bands now. Michael Schenker, Opeth, UDO. It's a German label. I can't exactly remember the label, the band's label now, but um, so that's good. I mean, because a lot of Christian bands don't usually get that big label. They don't get to sign for a big. So they've gained a lot of momentum. I think Theocracy amongst not just Christian metal fans, obviously amongst secular fans as well. So that's really, really cool. Atomic Fire, look, it's come to me. Atomic Fire Records, they're on now. So they was on another label beforehand. Um, and of course, this is a brainchild of the brilliant, multi-talented Matt Smith. It was a solo project, wasn't it, Paul, at the beginning, and then now it's a band,
Yeah, he's a
basically.
multi-instrumentalist and he did the entire first album himself. I think there was only, if I remember correctly, only one instrument he did not play on the first album. And I can't
Yeah.
remember if it was drums or bass or something, but yeah, he did everything else. It's pretty amazing when you think about it.
Oh yeah. I mean, joining Matt is Taylor Washington on the guitar, Jonathan Hines on the guitar, Jared Oldham on the bass, and Ernie Topran on the drums. And they are, I mean, man, amazing musicians. And some of the technical playing on this album is just absolutely amazing. And obviously, not just that, it's the songwriting is pretty good as well. So we're gonna just quickly run through the 9 tracks without Red Sea. And to tell you the truth, Paul, I've listened to it once. So I've made just a couple of notes, but it's quite hard with a Theocracy album because there's a lot to it. Do you know what I mean? So,
Yeah,
so if you want to, mate, I can go. I can just give you my opinions on the track by track, and you can do one after the other with me if you like. Is
sure.
that all
Sounds
right?
good.
Well, Flicker starts off the album very fast track. I think it's the new single as well. It got brought out on release day, I believe. This is like the new single. Um, for me, it's like a mixture of modern metal, thrash, and power all at the same time. It's very fast, very cool opening, very fast opening. Do you like that one, Paul? Flicker?
Yeah, I gave it an 8 out of 10. I'm not sure if you marked yours, but definitely very thrashy, I thought.
Mm.
Kind of a good little message, me, I'm always looking at the lyrics as well. Kind of talking about the coming last days and a little bit of how, well, Flicker, like just our life is a flicker. So, it's here one day and gone the next, and it's all about what we do with it while we're here. So,
I did give it a score, but I'm very tight on my scores, as you know. So I gave it a 7. So, but I mean, anyone who watches the channel will know, usually fast music ain't my thing. I'm sort of into this medium pace metal, but I did like the track, and it's a real energetic opening. Anonymous is the next track. I really like this one. I really like this one, and I put down like the speed of the songs, whether it's a slow, medium, or fast song. It's everything. This one, it's like a mixture, complex, loads of transitions into different speeds, lots going on, great riffs, really heavy. And at first listen, which is only one listen, I thought this is probably going to be a real grower as well. It's one you probably have to listen to. But I like them tracks. I like them ones that take a bit of time. So very cool riffs, very inventive. I gave it an 8 out of 10. That one.
well, that's funny. I guess we switched sides now because I gave this one a 7. But I
Well,
agree with you. It could be a grower. So I didn't put a lot of notes on this one. I just kind of marked it as 7 out of 10. But yeah, I think you might be right. Yeah, it just might be just need a few more lessons to let it
yeah,
grow on me a bit more.
very cool track. Then we got the Mosaic, which was the single, one of the singles. Great song, galloping metal, very catchy. After a little quiet start, it sort of then it goes into the song. I love this song. 8.5 out of 10. I gave it. Great song.
Yeah, it's the title track. I love this track.
Mm,
Absolutely love it. Say, it's kind of like it had that angelic vocal at the beginning of the song,
mm,
and you just knew that it was going to lead into something. You just didn't know what exactly, and then it just totally, leads into this totally melodic tune, and to use your phrasing, just gallops along. I just love the entire song from beginning to end. Gets a little thrashy towards the end as well. Something like that's one thing I'm noticing about this whole album is they definitely went a little bit more on the thrashy side for this
mm.
album, but in a good way.
Oh
Like
yeah. Oh yeah.
it's really the riffing on this album is just awesome, and I give it 9.5 out of 10. So
Very good. I mean, Steve, I suppose when you talk about thrash metal and it's a thrash metal band, usually it's got those sort of rougher, not extreme vocals, but sometimes like shouty type vocals. And Matt Smith's got this like, he's just got such a smooth vocal in it. So it's quite a good
yeah.
contrast, I think, having the thrash riffs with his vocals. It's very cool. The next one is Insidious, track 4. I really like this one as well. It's called The Dogs of War in brackets. Great intro, heavy, loads of time changes throughout. Again, thrashy at times, bit of a Maiden feels it, a whoa sort of thing that Maiden doing this. Another I thought it could be a grower as well, something that takes a lot of listens to, but 8 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, I gave it 8.5. It's excellent tune, very heavy groove on this
Mm,
one as well. Um, Lyrically, it's actually about racism. It's and how it's been passed down from generations, and it's one of those sins that we're a lot of us even subconsciously are guilty of, and so kind of an important track in this day and age for sure.
cheers, mate. And then we go on to the first single, obviously, what introduced us to this, the start of this album, got us all excited. Return to Dust, which is the first one, more straightforward for Theocracy, by the way, not straightforward, but more straightforward for them. I suppose this is where you would say their power metal sort of parts come in. It's a little bit power metal, this one. Great track, though, medium pace track, 8 out of 10. I swear I gave this one as well.
This is another one I put it right up there with Mosaic. As far as picking singles for this album, they definitely did a great job. These were, definitely two of my favorite tracks. I
Mm.
actually matched it with the 9.5. Just pure melodic metal. Another great message about how short life is. We need to be ready to meet our maker someday. So, musically, lyrically, it was just, a
Spot on.
masterpiece in my opinion. So,
Cool.
love
Well, I love this next track. This is the sixth Great Extinction. My mate Ralph as well sent me a message about this, and he said, "Have you heard the Theocracy album yet?" I said, "I'm going to listen to it today." And he said, "Check out the riff on this. I went, okay, so I set myself up to listen to it. He built me up for it. He did, but it was, oh man, probably my favourite riff on the album kicks this one off. It's sort of a thrashy sound, but not fast, because a lot of thrash bands, they slow it down. They really sound heavy. So heavy, catchy, sort of a bit of a power metal chorus, I would say, but amazing instrumental section. I mean, just amazing. At the 4-minute mark, there's another riff that kicks in. Is just so heavy and so cool. This is I gave it an 8.5 out of 10. The sixth great extinction, just absolute extinction. Sorry, sixth great extinctions. Hard to me to say that one, but an absolutely fantastic track. Loved it.
I guess I'm going to need to revisit this one again because sometimes I was trying to go through the album and I think I went through some faster than others. I only gave it a 7.5, but I said I didn't put as much attention to this one, maybe so.
I think it got off to a good start, mates. Teacher, the start, the riff is just what a way to set that song off. You might have to help me on this. How to say this next one, mate? Track 7.
Deified.
Well, I thought it was that, but I thought I didn't know. I don't know what that means. So I'm like, it's like defied, but with an I after the first E. So
yeah, it's because deity. So it's basically to make a god. Like I put it, I'll let you talk in a second, but maybe I'll just take the lead on this. I just got another thrashy masterpiece is what I put. And it's basically all about running after all of our desires, looking up to others, and making gods out of our worldly pleasures, and needing to get right with God before this life ends. So that's lyrically what it's about. Gave it a 9 out of 10. I love this song.
For me, it's the closest to power metal I think they get. It's that fast, almost Halloween type of power metal. But I think though what I prefer Theocracy a lot to Halloween, actually. And I think that's what their guitars. I think, if this was Halloween, you'd hear a keyboard just near enough, a synthesizer near enough be alongside the guitar, too overpowering it too much. With this band, it's very like, if they go fast, it's guitar. That's what it's all about. It's probably my least favorite song on the album. I gave it a 7. Probably again, it's the fast tracks. I like the fast sections they do it with a song, and then they slow it down. Then they go fast, then they slow it down. But it's very fast all the way through almost this one. So 7 out of 10 for me. The next one is The Greatest Hope, and it's the ballad of the album. Love this song. The control on his voice is just amazing. He like goes into this falsetto that's just beautifully controlled, his vocals, and it's like that for most of the song, like very quiet and acoustic, and then gets quite powerful and symphonic towards the end. A great ballad, really emotional. 8 out of 10 I gave that one.
Yeah, so emotional too. Lyrics, it's about losing a close friend way too soon, and then falling back on the greatest hope that we have, and as a Christian, we have we're this life is only our temporary place, and we have a permanent life in the future in heaven. So just a great song. I loved it. Gave it 9.5 again. I think you can tell I like this album.
Yeah. I mean, I loved it as well, but we're a bit. I suppose reviewing albums for most weeks and songs, I have to sort of take it easy. Otherwise, everything would be a 10 out of 10 for me. But
and that's exactly true. It's like the movie critics, right?
Yeah.
It's like when you want to go see a movie, you can never actually look at what the critics are saying. You got to go to what the audience is saying, because critics who are watching 5 movies a week, that gets to the point where the movie that used to be a 10 out of 10 now becomes like a 4 out of 10.
Yeah. You almost look for weakness, but it's strange. But I used to give songs a lot more. I just try to calm down a bit. But that is one great song. And then we move on to the penultimate song, Liar, Fool, or Messiah. This is a great track. It's long, 7 minutes and 37 seconds long. Almost classic 80s thrash for me in some of those riffs, especially at the beginning. And they come in and out. Another catchy, real uplifting chorus. A brilliant instrumental section yet again, about 2 minutes long. It's just amazing. I gave it an 8 out of 10.
I gave this one 8.5. Very, yeah, I said thrashy, but also very melodic. Another great message. I love the. It kind of reminds me of when people talk about Christ, and if he really was who he said he was. Um, you know, C.S. Lewis once made it a comment saying that he was either, I think that's where he took this from. He was either a complete liar, or he was a fool, or he was really who he said he was, which was the Messiah. And so it's kind of a very reflective song that way, if you actually really listen close to the lyrics and stuff. Yeah, I give it 8.5 out of 10.
Very cool. So, I mean, both of us, I mean, scores don't really mean nothing. You can tell that we're both quite happy with what we're hearing. I haven't really got an opinion, and don't really need to have an opinion whether it's better than the other albums. I couldn't tell you that right now because I've heard it once. And Theocracy all I can say is it sounds very, very strong on first listen for sure. Production as well is massive. It's so clear. Every guitar riff is just jumping out at you. It's so crunchy. It's a brilliant production. I've got to say that with every Theocracy album, it sounds spot on. The sound of them, the mix.
I think Matt Smith and Michael Sweet are two peas in a pod when it comes to their
perfection.
Just their perfection. Yeah, I think they might both have OCD.
Yeah, I reckon you're right there. I reckon
we know that Michael's already said he has OCD, so.
So yeah, amazing tracks. I can only see track 10 being amazing as well, and we're going to find out. Obviously, this is our first time listen. We've been speaking about doing we was going to do a full album reaction. We might have been here 4 hours later doing that, but this track is long. It's 19 minutes long. I don't think I've ever done a 19-minute long reactions to Paul. So this is the first. Before we get on to the reaction, though, I just want to say how cool you look in your t-shirt for a start. I mean, look at that. You
gotta represent.
You got to represent. Look at that.
Oh,
that's it. Hold it down a bit. Yeah, it's got his iridium flask.
I love these virtual backgrounds on Zoom though that keep wanting to make things disappear.
Yeah, I know. No, what's going to happen when your head keeps going? Your head's going to keep disappearing. And I just want to give a shout out to my t-shirt as well. I've got Martin Simpson's Destroyer of Death. Eternal Rain is the album that's out right now. It's already been released. Amazing Christian metal album. We talk about Christian metal. This is just one of the best albums of the year, just not Christian metal. One of the best albums of the year. Amazing stuff. You heard it yet, Paul? Just a quick one.
I have started to hear it. I haven't really gone through the entire thing yet, but so far, so good.
Yeah. If anyone doesn't know, Rob Rock is joining Martin Simpson, and also CJ Grimark out of Narnia, and a couple of other guests as well. Jorn Londe's on it.
Jorn's on it too, eh?
Jorn's on it one track, and then Rob Rock sings the rest of them. Amazing album. Anyway, we're here for Theocracy. What we're going to do, anyone who watches my channel, I do usually stop halfway through. It might be we're going to change that for this one. One thing, it's a bit of a journey, isn't it, when it comes to Theocracy long songs. I think we should leave it as it is. And there's so many twists and turns, I'll probably stop it in completely the wrong place as well. So everyone who's listening to this can just sit back, can't they, and listen with us, enjoy it, can't they?
Yeah, for sure.
I'm sure most Theocracy fans have already heard this song. So, Paul, you might see me making a few notes because we've got a 19-minute song to get through here. So I don't know by the end whether I'll be able to remember much about it, but I'm going to make a few notes as I go. It's a bit of a first for me, this 19 minutes. So there you go. You ready, mate, to listen to this epic song?
I am.
Okay. All right, cool. Here we go.
my broken piece of time and once again The scales have been presented, and I have been found lacking. My spirit has been tested, and I have been found dead. The verdict is submitted, and I have been found guilty. The curse has eaten through me since first I was misled. Oh, wretched man that I am, who will deliver me?
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
Well, I did say they took you on a journey, and man, I mean, Paul, I mean, that was just. I always say that. I said I don't mean to name drop here. I'm going to name drop Michael Sweet here a little bit because I interviewed him, and I said to him that what I really want Striper to do is make like a long song, you know, an epic long song, because it hinted at it with Yahweh, didn't it? Like, you know, they hinted at that epic long song. And he always said that if I do that, it has to be really take you on a journey and be interesting, and, you know, not just a long song. There has to be a lot to it. I mean,
Yeah,
I think there was.
you have to tell, it has to be a story. Like, I was just looking up the lyrics in this song. It was like, I think, what, 9 verses or something crazy. It's like, but, and it's done in different phases, right? And now, you know, it's kind of like Mirror of Souls. Same idea. Mirror of Souls was actually Theocracy's longest song. That was 22 and a half minutes. Another just epic song that takes you on this journey, and it's got some emotion to it, and it's got some joy filled moments, like just some melancholy. It's got everything, right?
Oh, yeah.
This one here I found was a lot heavier than Mirror of Souls. Very, very galloping along, like, and thrashy at times, and the musical interludes. Oh my gosh, it's like
Mental.
guitar work is just insane on this album, and that song, like this, when they had those interludes, like between the different phases of the song, it was just incredible.
Well, I mean, I've wrote more down here than I think I've ever written on a full album, I think. But just, I mean, the way it started out, I love the Eastern feel of the whole. Most of the song had that like Eastern melody going through it, especially at the beginning. First thing I wrote down was, I'm not saying that, you know, every band takes influence from another band, but sometimes they stumble across things that sound similar to things. It really reminded me of Wherever I May Roam, Metallica, like that, the way it crashed in there with like the Eastern sort of melodies on it. At the 1 minute mark, there was a brilliant riff, and then the synths get introduced a little bit, which is very cool. And he don't start singing until about 1 minute 30, which is, if you actually think about it, on a 19-minute song, that's quite quick to start singing, isn't it? You know? But then it goes into this
Any
long.
other song, you'd be like, is this guy gonna sing, or is this just a
Yeah,
music?
exactly. And I was quite surprised how quick it was he came in. And then where you said there about the heaviness, and almost like a groove metal heavy riffs coming in, as well as those Eastern melodies. Then it hit this really fast, thrashy bit, which they love to do, which they're really great at, by the way. That was about the 3.5 minute mark. Cut the gang vocals there, which were quite cool, like the gang vocals from all the band. And then about the 7 minute mark, it hit an instrumental section that went on for 4.5 minutes. So you got a song, a song's length of instrumental section, but it ain't just instrumental section. There was so much going on in that. It just done so much in
I
that
can just
bit.
I can hear the questions now. Does Theocracy do they do any songs that are just music? Well, yeah, it's actually just their musical interlude in the middle of their 20-minute masterpiece.
You don't need instrumentals here when you can put them in your songs, you know. But I mean, the intricacy in some of that, in that real long section, was almost, it almost reminded me of not exactly the same, but the feel of like when Iron Maiden, their most intricate album for me was Power Slave. And the guitar work is so intricate. And that was the album where Maiden really, I think it was their best guitar album. And that, you know, that really felt like that in that section. It extended and really long, but really intricate. I mean, they even hit at the end of that. It shows you how inventive they are. They hit this like bluesy solo. I mean, this is not a bluesy song, is it? It's an epic metal song, but they went into this like bluesy sort of solo. I thought, that's so cool that they can, experiment and just put that at the end. The choir bits are really cool. The way they introduce choirs and stuff like that, they make it really sound epic. Of course, there's loads of galloping, like you said, and I like the extended bit at the end as well. The way it played out and it faded out, and the way it was the perfect ending, I think, for the album and for the song itself. It just had everything. It literally had songs within songs. I couldn't. Yeah. I'm not really sure if there's a chorus. You might be able to see it by your lyrics you had there. Does it say chorus, or does it just not say anything like that there?
I actually didn't think they did. I think they were just all.
I mean, yeah, I thought I wrote down chorus question mark earlier on about the 6-minute mark, but I can't remember.
Yeah, it's just broken up. Oh, yeah, no, they do have a chorus. It's yeah, at the very end, actually.
Ah, yeah.
And they have one bridge.
Oh, so they waited 15 minutes to do a chorus. That's quite cool.
Oh, no, they actually the chorus they do repeat a couple of times, but and then they have a pre-chorus as well.
I think the chorus hit about the 6-minute mark. When you feel like you've heard a chorus, I wrote down chorus. I don't know if it was or not, but
yeah. So looking at the lyrics here, they got verse 1, verse 2, verse 3, and then part 2. So the first 3 verses were part 1, and that was called Exodus, and that took us from 0 to 327. And as you said, 1 minute and 26 of that was the instrumental intro. And then part 2 is called Deliverance. That took us from 327 to 1026. Started with the guitar solo, and then verse 4, 5, and then the pre-chorus, and then a guitar solo, then a chorus, and then verse 6. And then and then part 3 started.
The thing is, they're so good at songwriting, or Matt Smith's so good at songwriting, that a lot of those could be choruses because it's so catchy. Do you know what I mean? So, I mean, such a brilliant songwriter, which is the main thing. Having catchy melodies is what it's all about. You could be as good at playing your instruments. They are amazing. They're technical players, but that doesn't matter if you can't write a song. If you can't write a catchy melody, it doesn't matter. But they can write that and play their instruments fantastic.
I might want to double check this too, but I'm pretty sure, and unless I'm dreaming, which I wouldn't put anything past myself, but I'm pretty sure I read something that he actually wrote this song quite a long time ago.
Oh, right, okay.
Like way back, and then just brought it out now, I think. I'll have to take a double check of that.
Well, I wonder if he writes songs or ideas, and then at first they're not a song together, and whether he puts all these ideas together and just melds them and transitions them. It's a pretty amazing. Oh God, is the dog? Can't see him because of my blurred out screen, but here he comes. But it's a pretty amazing song. I mean, they sound epic all the time, don't they? But that was one amazing, really was one amazing song. That was.
Yeah, I give that a 9.5 out of 10 as well.
Well, I mean, it's quite hard, isn't it, to actually score a song that epic. But it's got to be one of the best songs on the album, and I suppose my highest score's 8.5. So I suppose you've got to be talking 9 for that.
And here's the thing too, is that when you have a song, I mean, what tells you that song is so good is the fact that it's 19 minutes and change, and not 1 second of it where you're like, oh, enough already. Like
yeah.
You're as you're listening, you just can't wait for the next, and then you're disappointed when it ends. Like most songs that are 19.5 minutes, you probably, oh, thank God it's over. But
oh mate, I mean, if they are quite progressive, as you said, but not. It never got to the point where it was unlistenable or the time changes were too difficult to get into. There's nothing like that at all. But yeah, you're right. There's progressive metal bands out there that literally take 5 minutes to get to the singing, and then by that you think, oh, just hurry up, will you? You know. But there's no mucking about in that song at all, mate. It was just amazing. It really was. But yeah, I've got to go with you there, mate. It could possibly be the best song on the album, or definitely up there with the top tracks, because there was no weakness on that whatsoever.
I so badly want to see these guys live. I was I was so close to going to Immortal Fest. Um, just so many great bands they had there, and I was like, I so badly want, but it was just a really long drive, and I couldn't find anyone to go with me. It's like,
Yeah.
uh,
Oh, you're catching one day, mate. You're catching one day, but they're definitely on the rise anyway, aren't they? To play more places, I would say. You know, they're getting bigger and bigger. They're definitely in the Christian metal scene and catching on. I mean, I've been reading reviews on, you know, a lot of websites about this album, and these are, you can tell they're fans who are not just Christian metal fans. They're saying, you know, it's the best album of the year. It's this and that. So, you know, they're catching on with everyone. They are an absolutely fantastic band. But that was an amazing song. That was an amazing reaction. I'm glad you enjoyed that, mate. All right. So very cool. All right. I mean, guys, anyone who's watching this, obviously, hopefully you stayed with us and listened to the whole thing. You've probably heard it before anyway, but if you haven't, let us know what an amazing song. It is an amazing song. Let us know what you think about it. Some people just can't listen to long songs here, but when they're that interesting, mate, it's an amazing listen, wasn't it? Took you on a journey for sure. But Paul, thanks for coming on, mate. Much appreciated. That was
thanks for
pretty
having me.
cool, a different and very cool reaction. Guys, till next time. Cheers, mate. Thank you very much.